Students, in this video, we'll discuss top MCQs on Vedic civilization. But before we go deep into the MCQs, we'll take a quick look at some important points about this Vedic civilization. First point, Rigveda is the oldest Veda. That is a very important point. Next point, Saraswati was most mentioned river in the Rigveda. This river was also known as Naditama. Point number 3, early Vedic economy was pastoral. Cattle was where the main wealth. Next point, Indra was the chief god of the Rigvedic Aryans. He was the god of rain and war. Point number 5, Sabha and Samiti were major assemblies. Samiti represented common people and Sabha represented the eldest people. Point number 6, iron was not known in early Vedic age. Very important point. And the use of iron appeared in later Vedic period. Point number 7, Varna system in later Vedic age, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya as well as Sudra. Point number 8, Atharva Ved, source of Ayurveda. Very important point. Point number 9, Ashvamedha sacrifice symbolized royal power in later Vedic age. Point number 10, Upanishads belong to later Vedic period and these books were based on philosophy. Now, we'll move on to the MCQ section. First question, which river is most frequently mentioned in the Rig Veda? Right answer, option C, Saraswati. Saraswati was the most frequently mentioned river in Rig Veda and it was the most pious river of Rigvedic period. Sindhu was the river that was mentioned for the most number of times. Next question. 2. The term Gavishti in the Rigvedic period meant. What does Gavishti mean in Rigvedic period? It was gift of cows. Option number A. Many wars were fought during the Rigvedic period for cattle. So option number A is the right answer. It was battles for the cows. Question number 3. Which Veda contains sacrificial formulas? Right answer, option number C, Yajurveda. Yajurveda contains sacrificial formulas. Option number C is the right answer. Question 4. The Sabha in the Rigvedic period was. What was Sabha? Sabha was option B, Council of Elders. Council of Elders. Okay. And village assembly for the common people that composed of the common people was known as Samiti. Samiti, Sabha and Samiti, two major assemblies at that period. Question 5. Which animal was most important to the Rigvedic economy? It was of course the cows. Option number C. Cows were the measure of wealth at that time. Option number C is the right answer. Question number 6. Who was the chief god of the Rigvedic Aryans? Right answer is B, Indra. Devraj Indra was the chief god of the Rigvedic period and it was of course in the early Vedic period. Early Vedic period, Indra was the chief deity. Next question. 7. Samiti in the Vedic period was. What was Samiti? It was General Assembly. Option B, General Tribal Assembly. Samiti was nothing but the General Tribal Assembly. Next question. 8. Which Veda is a collection of melodies? Option B is the right answer, the Samveda. The Samveda was collection of melodies. Option B is the right answer. Next question. 9. Iron was introduced during which period? Another very important question. And the right answer is option B, later Vedic period. The use of iron became prominent in later Vedic period. Next question. 10. Varna system became rigid during Varna system. Option B, later Vedic period. In early Vedic period, there was nothing called Varna system. But in later Vedic period, it became rigid. Social hierarchy strengthened over time. Question 11. The term dasas in Rigveda refers to. What does dasas mean? Dasa means. Right answer. Option B, enemies. It meant enemies. Option B is the right answer. Dasas were non-Aryans, opponent of the Aryans at that period. So option B is the right answer. 12. Which Veda deals with magic and charms? Anything that is related to magic and charm, always it is Atharva Veda. Option C is the right answer. Atharva Veda. It includes spells for healing and protection as well. And also remember that Atharva Veda is the origin of Indian Ayurveda. Ayurveda. Next question. 13. The king in the Rigvedic period was called. What was the king called at the time? He was called Rajan. Option B is the right answer. The king was a tribal chief, or the tribal king was known as Rajan. Option B is the right answer. Important question. 14. Which river is mentioned along with Saraswati in Rig Veda? It was Yamuna. Option B is the right answer. Yamuna as well as Ganga both were mentioned in Rigvedic period. So as the Sindhu. Sindhu was the most named river in Rigvedic period. Option number B is the right answer here. Yamuna. 15. The Rig Veda contains how many number of hymns? Factual question. Option B, 1028 hymns are present in the Rig Veda. Option number B is the right answer, and it is divided into 10 mandalas as well. 16. The later Vedic economy was mainly based on agriculture. Option B, very important question. Farming became dominant and iron tools were extensively used in later Vedic period. Next question. 17. Who performed sacrifices in Vedic society? Sacrifices were performed by the priest, of course. Option B is the right answer. The priest or the Brahmins. The Brahmins conducted the rituals and the yajnas. Option B is the right answer here. 18. Which Veda is the oldest Veda? Very basic question, but very important question indeed. And it is the option E, Rig Veda. Rig Veda is the oldest text. Option number E is the right answer. 19. The term Purohita refers to. What does Purohita mean? It is the priest. Option B is the right answer. The priest is also known as the Purohita. Next question. 20. Horse sacrifice was known as. What type of yajna it was? It was Ashvamedha. Option B is the right answer. The horse sacrifice is also known as Ashvamedha yajna. Okay. Next question. 21. Bajapaya sacrifice was associated with Bajapaya. It was kingship. Option C is the right answer. It is associated with kingship. Option number C is the right answer. Next question. 22. The Aryans came to India from. They were from Central Asia. Option A is the right answer. Most historians support Central Asian origin of the Aryans. So option A is the right answer. 23. Which god was associated with fire? Who was the fire god? It was Agni. Option B. Agni was the fire god. Let's move on to question number 24. Which god was associated with water? Who was the water god? Right answer option C, Varuna. Varuna was the god associated with water. So option number C is the right answer. Varuna was the guardian of the cosmic order as well. Next question. 25. The Rigvedic society was. What type of society it was? It was tribal society. Option B, tribal society, and village based. Okay, so option B is the right answer. Rigvedic society was village based, whereas IVC was urban civilization. It was urban, but Rigvedic society was tribal as well as village or rural society. 26. The later Vedic texts are called. These are called the Brahmanas. Option B is the right answer. The later Vedic texts are called the Brahmanas. Option B is the right answer. They explain the ritual significance. Next question. 27. Upanishads deal mainly with. Very important question. Upanishads. Upanishads are generally associated with philosophy. Option B. These are the books that are based on philosophical context. Next question. 28. Which animal was sacred in Vedic culture? The most sacred animal was cow. Option E, cow. Okay. Right answer. Option E. And cow is considered to be a symbol of wealth in Rigvedic period. 29. The Vedic education system was known as. Option E, Gurukul. These were the coaching institutes, or rather you can say the educational system was based on this Gurukul system. Next question 30. The later Vedic capital was located in later Vedic period. The capital was located in the Ganga Valley. Option B is the right answer. Ganga Valley. Next question 31. Which god replaced Indra as the most prominent god in the later Vedic age? Read the question carefully. Indra was the chief deity of the Rigvedic Aryans, but in later Vedic period, Indra lost his glamour. And who became the chief deity? It was option B, Prajapati. Prajapati became the chief deity or the most prominent god in later Vedic period. Important question. Next question 32. The term Niska referred to. What does Niska mean? Niska used to mean option B, ornaments. It used to mean option B, ornaments. Okay. Next question 33. Women in the Rigvedic period used to participate in assemblies. Option B is the right answer. Women had no obligation, but they could attend or participate in assemblies as well. Next question 34. Which text mentions medical knowledge? Anything that is related to medical science, always go with Atharvaveda. Option B is the right answer. Ayurveda. Ayurveda is associated with this Atharvaveda. Okay. Anything that is related to medical terminology or medical knowledge, that is the Atharvaveda. Question 35. Widow remarriage was allowed. Option B, widow marriage was allowed at that time. So option B is the right answer. 36. The later Vedic king was assisted by whom? By the council. Option number A. The council was there to assist the king. Next question 37. Which sacrifice was performed for rain? Answer should be Indra Yajna. Indra Yajna was performed for rain. Option B is the right answer. Next question 38. The Aryans used which language? What was the language of the Aryans? It was Sanskrit. Option C is the right answer. Sanskrit was extensively used by the Rigvedic Aryans. Option C is the right answer. Question 39. Which period saw the composition of the Upanishads? We already have discussed about this, and it was later Vedic period. Option B. In later Vedic period, Upanishads were written, and these were the books that was primarily based on the philosophical context of the society. 40. The term Yan refers to. What does Yan mean in Rigvedic period? Right answer. Option B, tribe. Tribe was tribe was termed as Yan. Okay. Next question 41. The term V's refers to. What does V's mean in Rigvedic period? It was clan. Option A. Right answer for B, common people. V's meant what? It was the common people. Option B is the right answer. 42. The later Vedic society become more hierarchical. Option B is the right answer. The Varna system, the Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra, they became prominent at that time. Next question 43. Agriculture became dominant due to iron tools. Option B, iron tools came into use. In early Vedic period, copper and bronze tools were used, but in later Vedic period, iron tools came into use. 44. The king collected tax called. What does the tax at the time? Right answers were A, Bali. Bali was a tributary tax or a voluntary tax that was charged on the people. Option A is the right answer, and king used to collect this tax from the common people. 45. Rigveda was written in. It is written in the verse form. Option B, in the verse form. Okay, the hymns were composed in Sanskrit, of course, and they were written in verse form. Question 46. The later Vedic people used plow made of course, it was iron plow. Option B, iron was extensively used in later Vedic period, and this improved the agricultural efficiency as well. 47. The Aryans worshipped mainly the natural forces. Option A is the right answer. The natural forces were worshipped by the people of the Vedic civilization. 48. which river valley became the center later? In later Vedic period, we already have seen that the civilization shifted towards the Ganga Valley. Option B is the right answer. Next question, 49. The main occupation of later Vedic period was the main occupation from pastoralism to agriculture. They shifted towards agriculture. Option B is the right answer. In later Vedic period, the chief occupation of the Aryans was agriculture. Next question, 50. Child marriage was, it is unknown. Option C, it was unknown. It became common in later Vedic period, but child marriage was unknown in early Vedic period. Students, here comes the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed the session. If you have enjoyed the session, please do like the video, share the video with your friends, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe.